class. I am going to videotape my lesson, and this lesson is section 5.1 on linear inequalities in two variables. So the key word here is inequality right there. Before we were doing equations, and now we're going to be looking at inequalities and see what those look like when we graph them. Here it says graph the following equation. So this is what we're used to. Y equals 2x plus 1, 2x plus 3, y equals 6, x equals 2, y equals negative 2. We're going to review how to graph those. And then we'll look at inequalities. So I want you to note the words for this symbol is less than, this one's greater than, this one is less than or equal to, and this one's greater than or equal to. And these are the inequalities that we are going to be working with. Okay, we'll talk more about that. And then come down here, and what we're going to do is instead of y equals 2x plus 1, we're going to be graphing y is less than 2x plus 1. And 2x plus 3y greater than or equal to 6, and x is greater than 2. So we're going to take the same ones that we did up here, and we're going to see what happens when we change those to inequalities. All right, so I recommend for this section that you have colored pens or pencils and a straight edge, because we're going to be working just with lines. So that's going to be, these are going to be useful tools. We're going to be graphing systems of inequalities, so it helps to know which is which, and I do that by using different colors. So let's look at the first one. The first one says graph the following equations. Y equals 2x plus 1. So what we're going to do is plot 2 points. I'm going to get this piece of paper out here. This is section 5.1, and I will scan these later, these notes. And I'm looking at number 1, which is y is equal to 2x plus 1. And we're going to create an XY chart. Excuse me. And we're going to plot a couple of points now, which x values you plug in here. It's up to you. I always like to plug in 0 because then I can plug in 0 and this gets wiped out. So then what do I get here? Y is equal to 1. So I have one ordered pair, and if I go to my graph over here, that's the ordered pair. Remember 0, 1. So 0, 1 is right here, 0 in the x direction, 1 in the y direction. There is the ordered pair 0, 1. Now I need another point to make a line, so let's choose another x value, and you can choose whatever you want. I'm just going to pick 1 because it's simple, and I'm going to plug in x is equal to 1 here, pardon the video. Y equals 2 times 1 plus 1, and that gives you y is equal to 3. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3, so I get 3. Now I plot that. 1, 3. 1, 2, 3. So I went 1 in the x direction and 1, 2, 3 in the y direction, and I'm labeling this 1, 3. And now I'm going to take my straight edge and connect the dots. Okay. I don't know how I'm going to hold the camera and do that, but I'm going to give it a go. Here we go. Oops. Oh well. There we go. There is our first line, and this line is y is equal to 2x plus 1. So every x value on here, if I plug it in here, it's going to make our y value. And I only need really 2 points to make a line, so that's what I'm going to do. For what we're needing, that's all we're going to need to do. So number 2, let's try that one. Number 2 is 2x plus 3y is equal to 6, and I'm going to do an XY chart. Now this one is a little different in form than this one. This one y is solved for, and this one you have x and y on the left side of the equation. When you have something like this, where x and y are on the left-hand side, first of all, it's called the standard form of an equation, and this one is called a slope-intercept form because you can pick out the slope and the y-intercept. But when it's in this form, what I do is plot my intercepts. So intercepts those are where you let x equal 0 and find y, and let y equal 0 and find x. So whenever it's in this form, that is one of the best ways to graph this equation. So I am going to substitute in x equals 0. Let's do a different color. So when x is equal to 0, I come over here and I plug in 0 for x. And when I do that, that is wiped out. 2 times 0 is 0. And then I just have 3y equals 6. And how do I solve for y? You all would be telling me to divide both sides by 3. You are correct. And I'm getting y is equal to 2. So I'm going to put that right here. So 0, 2. Now, if I come over to my graph, right here, 0, 2 is right here. And this is called a y-intercept. Because it lands on the y-axis. And when we draw the line, it's going to go through the y-axis. So we say that the line intercepts the y-axis at this y-intercept. Now, let's look at the other one. I am going to now plug in 0 for y. All right, so let's come over here. You start over, write down your equation. 2x plus 3y is equal to 6. Okay, and I'm going to plug in 0 for my y, like that. And now my y's wiped out, and I have just 2x is equal to 6. And then divide both sides by 2. And I have x is equal to 3. All right, so I'm going to put that back in my chart. And now what I've discovered is that these are my two intercepts. So I'm going to plot that. 0, what was it? 3, 0. Short memory, sorry about that. 3, 0 is right here. Okay, I have 2 points. Now notice that this one hits the x-axis. So this is the x-intercept, and for short we just write int for x-intercept. And now I'm going to draw a line between these 2 points. I'm just going to do it freehand. You guys get out your straight edge here. All right, and I have got, never mind that, a line. And that line is 2x plus 3y equals 6. All right, so I have 2 lines. So this is a little practice with line drawing. Now let's look at number 3. X is equal to 2. Now this one's special. So these are kind of all the types. You get a y equals this form. You have where the x and y are on one side, and I use intercepts on that one. And x equal 2 and y equals negative 2. These are a bit special because in this case, when x is equal to 2, what I do is I come over here and find x is equal to 2. There's x is equal to 2. And then, if you recall from your algebra, the kind of line that you get here, and you probably already know, is this kind of a line, which is, as you probably have already said in your mind, this is a vertical line. So x equal 2 is a vertical line at 2. And over here, y equals negative 2. So find y equal negative 2. It's right here. And then y equal negative 2. We're going to draw a horizontal line. And that right there is just a review of graphing equations. Now I'm going to stop this video and I'll get back to you on graphing the inequalities.